Okay, America, I need you to do this. Karina, Mr. Bloss, I need you to do this. Ms. Bingley, Remy, kids I haven't heard from this week. You should be doing this. These are like ways for you to get points. Amanda, oh, she's not here, damn. Josue Santos, you could do this and get so many points. Raise your grade from an F to a C. Cesar. All right, Miss, whenever you're ready.
Is this going landscape right now?
No, it's not landscape.
That's so weird.
Okay, I'm looking at the chat, y'all.
I'm gonna stop share for a second and see if it works.
So we're all working, whether we're doing the grid or not, we're moving forward. Miss is going to take you through doing value scales with watercolor and color pencil, because the folks who aren't using the paint, you'll be using another medium, so you need to practice making different values in different mediums. So that's the point of this demo, to help like other kids. Also, it's just like they're easy points. They really are. It's not involved doing a face, we're just doing different lights and darks right now.
Yeah. So we're starting off, like when we do the value scale, we do that box. So we're gonna go make a rectangle. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Just gonna do that and then cutting this in half. And then I'm gonna divide it into thirds. And it's gonna be box 1, 2, 3. Then this is going to be 4, 5, 6. It's a little slow. And I have my cup of water, a paper towel, a paintbrush, and my watercolor palette. So I'm going to get this set up. And I'm just going to use green for this demonstration, but you guys can use like whatever colors you want, or whatever colors you're planning on using in your self-portraits. So to start off, just if you've never used watercolor before, this paint, like without adding water, it's completely dry and like you're not gonna be able to get anything out of it. So you're gonna add some water to your paintbrush and just, it's called like activating the paint. And like you can see, it gets glossy, and just like adding water to this paint is like making it active, and like it gets color onto your paintbrush, as you can see. And that, I'll just put it in this palette here, and that like I have my green now. And like putting it onto the paper, you can see like it's super dark because I haven't added much water to it, right? But if I add more water, you like also see it kind of turn lighter in the palette here. If I add more water, it's super, super light. Like look at the big like difference in that. Sorry, I don't have the chat open.
Miss, we're just talking about like dimensions on the grid.
Oh, okay.
But I just want to reiterate, guys, if you're like lost and you're stuck, doing this warm up with watercolor is gonna help your grade. Okay? These are my like in danger of failing kiddos who haven't posted this week for their midterm. Please do this now. And get your watercolors out. You could do this with color pencils too. Okay, you all got watercolors. Okay, you're on, Miss.
Okay. So we're gonna start with the lightest. It's different with watercolors because, can anyone like unmute or type in the chat like why is it important to start light with watercolors? Why do you think it's important? Ooh, Miss says, is it because it's hard to take back once it's dark? Yeah, for sure. Like trying to get watercolor paint, like this super dark watercolor paint to turn lighter after it dries is going to be super hard. Like once it's dark, it's like already kind of on there. But like adding to this light one, like let's go ahead and like just try that. Like add another layer to this light block of watercolor, and like you'll see how it changes. So I'm gonna go ahead and add another layer. And like that whole part like already got darker, but you can't really change what's already dark. So let's go ahead and we're gonna start by adding layers. So I'm adding more water to my paint, and it's gonna be a super light green for me, but it'll be different for whatever color you're using. And I'm just gonna add this layer all the way through, like this whole thing. And I might have to go back and get more paint. So I'm gonna dip my brush back in the paint, and it's gonna be like value number 1 throughout all of this.
So guys, just to reiterate, like this warm up is especially for students who are using mediums other than the paint that you pick up at school, right? So if you want to use watercolor, or even if you're not planning on using watercolor, just doing this warm up will help to raise your grade. If you are like at a B or an A, or even a C, but and you're doing the grid, this is a time for you to like private message me and ask questions about the grid. Okay, sorry, Miss, keep going.
Okay, so now we have like this super light green all the way through the whole scale, right? Like 1 through 6 is all the same value right now. But now we're gonna leave box number 1, this light value, and we're gonna take another layer of like watered down green. Going back in the palette, maybe you need to like mix more color into the water. So I have this green, getting it on my paintbrush, and then we're gonna start at box number 2 now, and we're gonna add this layer. It's still pretty light, all the way across, all the way through to box number 6. So box number 2, all the way to box number 6 is gonna be another layer. And I need more color. And just like how we were talking about holding pencils last class, like you can change the direction that you hold your paintbrush in. So you can like go up and down or side to side. And it's all one even flat color again, but now it's all like this second box color. And like you can already see this like huge difference between box number 1 and 2. But wait, it's gonna get even darker. So now it might be a little wet. So we're gonna wait for this to dry by working with colored pencil. So I'm gonna go ahead and make another rectangle right underneath with colored pencil. Just to like have something to work on while we're waiting for the paint to dry. So cutting that in half again, and this will be box number 1, 2, 3, 4.
All doing this, we're gonna post live to Seesaw unless you're working on the grid or transferring your face, but we're all gonna do a post in a second. Even if it's drawing just your margins on your watercolor paper.
So with pencil, we're gonna start dark. That's like the thing to remember. With watercolor or markers, we always start light, but with pencil or colored pencil, we can start dark. So I'm gonna go, and remember how we talked about holding the pencil on the sides, you're using like this whole side of the pencil and not just the tip. So I'm gonna go in and get it super, super dark, like pressing down like pretty hard on the tip of the pencil. And you can't really see like the pencil marks, like when I'm coloring. Like by holding it on its side, you can't like get those like scribbly lines. So I'm gonna turn my paper and go the other way. And it all just kind of blends together when you hold it on its side. So I think this is pretty dark. You're gonna get it as dark as you can get it.
Do this, guys. Are you doing this?
I think the watercolor is pretty dry now, so I'm gonna go back and add from box number 3. I'm gonna start making it darker again. So adding more paint to my paintbrush. I'm starting now in box number 3 and going all the way across through to box number 6. So we're just like working back and forth between the watercolors and the colored pencils because it needs to dry. So working in layers, we just keep adding on. All the way through to box number 6. It's hard to get lighting right on this. Okay, that's good. Okay. And this is all with like this one color green, but we already have such a wide range. And if you want to try something out, so the thing about like using watercolors and waiting for it to dry is because let's see, like if it was still wet and we added color, I'm just going to show you like an example here. So say I like already had this layer, it's pretty wet, and I try and like add another darker layer on top. So as soon as I go in with the like watercolor and I try and add it, it like spreads into like this section too. Maybe you can't really see it with the green, but so like when I try and do this, like it all blends together and you get like this cool effect, which is not like, it's not a bad thing, it's just a problem if you're trying to make like harder boundaries between each line of the value scale. And that's why we wait for it to dry, because then it just turns into like these soft boundaries. So we're gonna go back and wait for it to dry and go back in with our colored pencil. And box number 5 is gonna be pretty close to box number 6, but just not as dark, right? So I'm starting off with the side of my pencil still, but keeping it pretty light. And turning the paper, add another layer. So I think box number 5 can go a little bit darker. So I'm going to go back and add another layer, orange. And again, you can use like whatever colors you want or whatever colors you're using for your self-portrait. You don't have to use the colors that I'm using. Okay, so I think box number 5 is pretty close. I'm going to sharpen my pencil. Okay. So we'll move on to box number 4. And box number 3, 4, and 5 are kind of the hardest ones to get, because I think that's like the point where everyone starts to like, it starts to kind of blend together in those boxes. Like the values are harder to like distinguish. So we're gonna stay like super light. So to color light, remember we hold like towards the back of the pencil, and I'm just gonna like let some pressure go and like add value just by barely pressing down on the pencil. And you're just gonna have to be kind of patient when you do this and like go in different directions again.
Guys, post that you're doing this, post any progress.
Okay. Actually, I think I can make box number 5 a little bit darker. So yeah, you can keep going back between the boxes and adding value through that. Okay, now we can add a little bit more to box number 4.
So I'm on Seesaw. If you're doing this, Sam, Mr. Bloss, Karina, America, Remy, Alvaro, I'm just like looking down the list, people I haven't seen because I'm trying to give everyone midterm credit. Cesar, Jose, anyone who's doing like a non-grid assignment, Or if you're doing the grid, post this so I can give you points. Okay, because everyone's doing live posts. Keep going, Miss. Also, guys, I'm going to double log in right now. Thank you, Angel Valencia, for posting this. Thank you, Alexis Diaz, for posting. I'm going to double log in a second to have a meeting with the grid people. But keep going, Miss. You're doing awesome.
Okay, thank you, Miss. So now, like going back to the watercolors, we're going to add more paint onto this brush. And starting at box number 4, we're going to go all the way through again, adding another layer all the way through to box number 6. And I'm going to keep going back into the paint to get more. And now from box number 4 to 6 has this 4th layer of paint. Okay, now we're going to wait for it to dry and go back to the colored pencils. Okay, so box number 3 on colored pencils. We're going to start even lighter than we did last time by using the side of the pencil and just feathering over it. Going back and forth. And by using the side of the pencil, like you don't see any of these, like if you held the pencil like this, you start seeing like these pencil lines. You can see those. So by using the side of the pencil, we kind of avoid getting those like kind of pencil lines. If you're working on blending, it's like a good thing to use. So I'm going to add a couple more layers to box number 3.
Guys, you should be working now. I can't reiterate that enough. Your grade could really go up if you're working. I'm so nervous for some of you guys who don't post. It stresses me out. You got to post if I'm going to give you art credit. Miss, I am seeing some value scales come up.
Awesome. Yeah, you can post like right now, like take a picture of what you have like right here. You don't have to be done to post because it's like, it's so cool to see your progress. Like looking back on it, you can be like, oh, this is where I started. It's like before and after photos.
Shout out to Cesar and Brian for posting. There are posts coming in. Keep going.
Okay, so in box number 2, again, we're starting really, really light. This is where you have to be really careful about adding layers when you're working with colored pencils or pencils. So we got in like a number 2 value. I think this is far enough from box number 3. You can see a difference. And then box number 1 is going to be super, super light. But we don't want to leave it empty because if you left like any white values in your self-portrait, it'd be kind of like pops of color. It's like how we don't really use black to color in shadows. You don't use white to color in highlights. Okay, now we're going to go back. Still a little wet, but we'll go for it to box number 5 with watercolor. So I'm going to mix in a little bit more paint to this. So we got paint on our brush, and I'm going to go with a little bit less water than I was using before. So more paint, less water equals darker values.
I got points for you, Jose, yes. Miss, I have a quick question. So what value are you on the watercolor?
We are on number 5.
Okay, if I wanted to add like a darker green, layer on like a darker green or blues to darken my values even more, because that's like a really light color, like a yellow. Is that an option? Can I layer different colors on top of each other to make oh, okay.
Should we go on? Like we can start making like box number 7 and 8 too.
Yeah, if you want to. I just want like everyone to realize, especially if you're doing the grid, I mean, everyone in here, art's about layering and continuing to work at it, right? So it's like, don't give up and be like, I can't do it. Well, maybe you didn't spend enough time adding other layers. And Miss is demoing this for you. It's so valuable. So yeah, Miss, if you want to do that, that's like totally cool. Okay, sorry to interrupt.
Definitely, I'd love to do that. I think it's Yeah, like a lot of people don't realize like you can mix colors here. Like you can go in with like a different, so if you want this green to be even lighter, like you can add yellows to it too. And if you want it to be darker, you can add blues. So we're gonna start at box number 5. And yeah, it was a little wet, but it's okay. And that darkens up everything, going all the way to box number 6 again. And I feel like I could have gone a little bit darker in number 4. I add another like super light layer to that. So I'm gonna add more water to my brush and like mix a little bit more paint and water here and go back into box number 4 and make it just a little bit darker. So that you can see a little bit more of a difference between each one. So going back to box number 6, I'm going to add even more paint and less water. And actually I'll like continue off the page. Okay. It's a little too wet. I think it's hard to add like value to it when it's still wet. So we'll just start making this box number 7 and 8. Okay, so let's say you want to go darker. So we can go and get maybe like a blue, like a dark blue, and add that into your green paint. And look how dark this gets, but it's still a green. Yeah, like it's still green, but like that could be your shadow. What else can we do? While we're waiting for this to dry, yeah, another kind of colored pencil. Maybe you can try to use blue. I'm struggling to find blue. So I got a light blue. I can't find a dark blue. So going back, like you can layer colored pencil on top of watercolor. So like start off light again, like holding the back of the pencil. Like let's just see what this does to this like box number 2. Like imagine you're like doing your self-portrait and you're done with watercolor and you don't want to add another layer, but you can go in with colored pencil and just add layers of colored pencil onto the watercolor. And like this turned this light green into like a darker green. Like look at how cool that looks. You can like experiment with different materials and see what it turns out to be. And like adding this light blue into this light green actually made it look like a darker green. Yeah, so just an example of what you could do with that. Like this looks like box number 4 now. Okay, so I think box number 6 is kind of drying up-ish. So we'll go in again and add that last layer of paint. Just into box number 6 to show that this is going to be the darkest value in this value scale if we were only using one color. So now you have this range of colors going from 1 to 6. And it all happened as you easily just layered colors, the same color over and over and over onto this. But if you like did one box at a time, like if you just added paint and like tried to get it darker, it's hard to control because it's hard to like tell how much paint and how much water you're adding, and you can like by layering it's easier to control like how dark you go. Yeah. Okay, I'll stop share and we can check Seesaw. Nice. Oh, it's so interesting that. Did you use watercolor for this? I think this might be marker, right? Caesar, is this marker? This is colored pencil. Nice. It's interesting that you like went like pink and then green. I think like if you like only used pink, you could also like get much darker values past like 3 with the same, I clicked on it, with the same pink, right? Mm. Okay, let's see. Okay, we're back. So let me go over, nice, Jose. This is watercolor? Did you use like the layering technique? Like how was that for you, like layering all the way through? I can definitely see like the difference going from 1 to 6. Nice. I feel like from box number 2, like from box number 3 actually, I think you could go darker angel, like starting in box number 3, like this is probably just like halfway through progress, maybe. Like you can add like another layer to each one, right? Okay, I think that was all the value scales. Make sure you're posting. And let me show like some work with marker. I actually just used marker to make a value scale last class, and I've never like really tried that before. So let's see. Okay, so we're gonna go in with some markers because I feel like that might have been a popular option. So again, starting at like the 1s, with markers, it's the same rule as with watercolor. So going this way. We'll go like, I'm just using a blue. We're gonna make 1 layer all the way through, just like we did with the watercolors. So I'm like combining the lines to make them thicker. And then starting off at 2, we're gonna leave box number 1 alone. Starting off at box number 2, we're gonna add another layer. And the longer you hold markers in this one position, the darker that area gets. So you're gonna like wanna work fast and like go through pretty fast. So going from box number 3 again, we're gonna add another layer. And it's just like the watercolors, you just keep adding layers over and over and over. And yeah, you can see how like each one starts to get darker. And like box number 6 is gonna be the darkest. But like, did you see like how much value you get from one marker just by adding layers? So for everyone who's using markers, let's see, who was that? Caesar and I think Antonio, were you using markers? Maybe just Caesar. Okay, but if anyone wants to use markers, that's just like adding value with markers is the same thing as adding value with watercolor. So we work light to dark. Okay, make sure you're all posting to Seesaw, and I'll ask Miss to update it. Miss Copera?
Sorry, I'm talking grid folks.
Oh, no worries. Have there been any new posts to Seesaw?
I'm gonna look right now.
Okay.
Guys, you ask me a question if you need to. I'm drawing on my iPad the margins. So Jose's coming in with a post.
Can I show you mine to see how you like it?
Yeah. 1 sec. I'm just giving some points to the folks who are live with Miss Hibler.
Whoa, Juan says I ran out of watercolor.
1 sec. Jose points. Kyla points. Yeah, I've approved everything so far.
Okay.
Okay, show me what you got. Oh wait, I gotta stop sharing. I will take a picture of this. Okay, and I'm gonna put this on Seesaw, everyone, ready? Sorry, I'm gonna put this drawing on Seesaw. Hopefully it doesn't confuse you guys. You gotta tell me if I'm being confusing.
Nice, Angel. I think, Angel, you also use markers, right? Or were these, I can't tell.
Who's
These
doing
are markers,
I'm
right?
gonna send this to Angel Valencia.
Oh wait, he might be in
Angel
another room.
Valencia, who's doing the grid? Brian, D'Angeli,
But yeah, nice. Like I like how
Jose,
Juan, like
Juan,
he started with yellow to get green.
Kyla, Leslie.
These aren't the same colors, but they make different.
I'm not sure if
patterns.
Remy's
That
doing
makes
it.
sense.
Stephanie.
Yeah, nice. I think this is watercolor, right?
Okay.
Maybe. Can't tell. Jose, was this watercolor?
Okay. I stopped broadcasting. Now show me what you guys got.
Jose's not.
I might have Jose, miss. Which Jose?
Yeah, I've been asking him an Angel questions and I realized.
Oh, sorry. I think I have Jose and Angel in here. Jose and Angel, okay. She's amazed. Okay, let me go. Okay. Yeah, it looks good. My feedback is that you go lighter with your lines. But is that it? Is it 1.5 on the side? I would also do more tick marks.
You make so much value in these boxes.
See how you're not always hitting your tick marks?
Oh, that's funny.
Like your line, Angel, isn't always hitting the tick mark. Do you see that? This is why you guys got to show me your grid and get feedback. Do you see what I mean?
No, it's because
you were here. Awesome. Okay. So Caesar, did that make sense? Like the demonstration I did with the markers? Like I think you use markers in both of these, but like adding layers all the way through and then like going darker on each box, just like it's like the same thing as the watercolors. You just don't have to wait for it to dry. Okay. So for the rest of class, we are doing work time. Make sure you post. And I will play some videos that Miss has. Right, Miss? We're good with work time? I think what's happening. Okay. So everyone, let's see, going all the way back. Miss, is work time good right now?
Wait, say one more time.
Are we good with work time right now?
Yeah, it's totally work time.
Okay.
Everyone needs to understand that there are so many videos. We are doing our final and we're getting midterm points. So if you want credit on your midterm, you have to live post, whether you are, let me make sure my microphone's on. Yeah, my microphone's on in the other room. Whether you're working on your grid or you just did a value scale or you're lightly doing your final in pencil, you need to post progress to Seesaw right now. Is that clear, Miss? Am I being clear as a teacher? Because sometimes I feel a little crazy.
I think that was very clear. I think some people just like don't want to post till they're done, maybe. Oh, feel like crossed out marks. But yeah, I don't think we've been seeing many like finished drafts of any self-portraits.
Shirley, is that your final? Shirley DeLeon, do you hear me? Is that your final? Don't shade on your final. I love that you posted it. I caught it. Don't shade on your painting. It's fine if it's shaded. Like it's not the end of the world. But if that's your practice, that's different. You shade on your practice. Okay, D'Angeli's working on the margins. So I'm giving points to Shirley and D'Angeli. So just to be clear, everyone's posting, everyone's showing progress. DeLeon, D'Angeli. America, Mr. Bloss, where are you guys today? Like, are you posting? Are you there? Are you doing art? Right, miss? We're all working towards drawing a face, whether it's with the grid or not.
Yes.
Points
And
yeah, go on, talk, miss.
I was gonna play this video. Oh.
Sorry, I just closed the iPad session. I'm giving points to Jose Rojas.
Okay, this is like the music in the background while you work. So everyone should be working on their self-portraits and finishing up their drafts, right, miss? Like a colored final draft.
Yep. Yeah, like if you haven't drawn, if your seesaw has no faces at all, you need to put a face on seesaw so we can give you feedback. All right? Full range of value, darks and lights, whether it's watercolor, color, or pencil. Okay? If you've done a practice draft, you're working on your final. If you're doing the grid, you make an appointment for you when you're going to pick up the paint, you get ready to do your value scale. If you're doing the grid, your grid should be done and you should be transferring your face. I just met with the grid folks. A lot of grid folks were confused by the margins. So you guys need to understand that you really need to like turn your cameras on, be like, hey, miss, what do you think of this? And you need to ask for help. Because there's a lot happening and everyone's doing different things. Everyone's at different stages and we're catching mistakes. Yes, Kyla, you can do it without the grid. Like we want everyone to feel like they can get an A. So whose grade am I gonna raise right now? You write in the chat, do you think I should raise your grade? I'm gonna open up Power School right now. I'm gonna raise someone's grade. Okay, post that you're there. I'm just like looking at my list. Cesar, I'm giving you full credit for academic prep this week because you've been posting. Alvaro, I'm giving you full credit. Ashley Gutierrez, I'm giving you full credit. Shirley, I'm giving you full credit for academic prep. A lot of people are getting full credit because they're posting, but you do need to post your progress on your portrait. Angel, you want me to raise your grade? What's your grade now, Angel? Points for Cesar. Stephanie, is your grid on your face a ½ inch? The grid on the face is a ½ inch. Okay, good. It's just because the picture's a little big, it looks like it's bigger. Angel, what grade do you deserve? Oh, you did close up. Got it. So giving Stephanie points. Remy, are you out there? Dun, 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 dun. It's a 78. Your grade's a 78. I mean, that's pretty good for distance learning art. It's probably because you need to do more fire rights. A lot of you guys never did the art criticism essay. Like where you're supposed to pick one painting from the art walk and do it. Okay. So we're all working on our final. We're posting whatever we have. No post this week from Anthony Ponce. Rafa, I don't see a post from you today. You came to office hours, I raised your grade to an A. That doesn't mean it's gonna stay an A. Post that you're working, Rafa. I'll put it back down at a B right now. You gotta post. Progress every day. Josue Santos. We're all moving forward. So let me look at Power School. Let me look at everyone's grades. And let me have my chat open. Is anyone saying they should have a higher grade? You should be working. If you ask yourself, like, am I working live in class? See, I know Angel's working live during his midterm, so that I'm more likely to raise Angel's grade. But if I don't know if you're there, like Rafa, I don't know if you're there today. Like, you may have just like logged in and gone to the store today. Okay, so Angel wants his grade up. Kyla, you want your grade up? Stephanie, you want your grade up? D'Angelo, you want, a lot of you guys have A's. Shirley, do you understand what I mean? No shading. Don't shade, just do an outline. Do you know what I mean, Sure? Because you started to shade. You're washing the dishes, Rafa? Are you doing any art? Okay, yeah, just do outlines. Just do the líneas around the shape. That's it. No shading. The paint will be the shade. I'm going to click refresh on Seesaw. Oh my God, it's crazy right now. Okay, nice, Cesar. Great post from Cesar. Cesar, I would add some value now that you learned from Miss Hibler to that eye. Hey, Miss, can I screen share? Okay, everyone, sadly, I got to close class, but I do, as you're leaving, I want you to write a goal. So by office hours today, I should see that you've started your portrait, your final portrait on watercolor paper. I will say that again. By office hours today, I should see a post of your final portrait to watercolor. It should be big. It doesn't have to be in the grid, or it is in the grid. If you're doing the grid, you should pick up your paint. Before you start to paint, do your value scale. I know I'm saying a lot, but it's because this is a very, very complicated project. We're simpling it from some of you, but you like can't procrastinate. You really need to ask a question if you need a question. And then please send me an email if you're picking up your paints. Today or tomorrow, please send me an email and I'll work on setting up that appointment for you. Okay? Let me know what color you want and we'll try to get ready for you. Start the final. Juan and Brian, please post. No, even if you're only 10% done, post your progress, Juan and Brian. Before office hours today, before I put your midterm grade in. Anyone can raise their grade. I'm going to hit refresh on Seesaw one more time. Okay, may you be happy and healthy. May you love others freely. May you post to Seesaw. Your face started, grid or no grid. May you work on your portrait all weekend because art takes time. Shout out to Miss Hibler. Please give her a shout out. Yeah, post more progress, D'Angeli. Go light with the grid, y'all. Namaste. Make sure you watch the videos. Don't not watch the videos. Okay. My son is flipping out outstairs, so I'm kind of like, you're going to start the grid. When is everyone making an appointment for their paint? If you guys want me to raise your grade, come to office hours. We'll talk about it more. I didn't get to raise grades today, but I am going to post these midterm grades. I'm looking for the appointments. When people scheduled appointments, I'm skimming up. Thank you, Kyla, for talking so much today. I'm just skimming up. Finals in watercolor, half inch. Angel, did you make a decision about your colors? Miss, how do you feel that went? Did you feel supported even though I bounced? I had to draw pictures of margins for them.
Yeah, I think it was like good differentiation for everyone, like to get to practice. And then like I know the grid group was a little worried, so I think it was good. They finally got to like sit in a breakout room with you and get directions.
Yeah, it makes me think maybe period 5 might be confused because the
Yeah.
margins are like a headache. So like the margins are like 1.5 inches from the side. And then a lot of times kids just watch the beginning of the video
Yeah.
and then they think, oh, all the boxes are 1.5. You know what I mean? They don't watch the whole thing.
Angel said, Miss, what color should I get?
Do you want blue, purple, blue, green, or red, purple? I want like a blue. So blue, purple, or blue, green?
Hold on, Miss. I'm thinking.
Okay, well, you gotta, Miss Hibler and I gotta go in another class. Angel, do you feel better about the grid after today? I'm asking him too many questions. Miss, this is like, you could write a whole paper about how I talk too much. It's
Yeah,
like,
I do.
what?
I say yeah.
Angel agrees. He's like, you say too much.
No, I was I was talking about the self portrait.
Oh, blue, purple?
Yeah, and yeah, I got it now. I already did the square, the 2 inches one by and the 1.5.
Are you going super light? Now the inside grid is 1 inch. You should have 12 1-inch boxes on the top, and you should have 18 on the side, inside of the margins. And then when you make those 1-inch boxes, they should be crazy light.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the 1 inch boxes inside.
Uh-huh. And then post a picture of it so I can give you more points, okay?
All right, Miss. Thank you. I'll see you next class.
Good job. Thanks for doing it. Now work on it over the weekend, transferring your face over the weekend.
All right, Miss.
Okay. All right. Take care. Dun, dun, dun.
Hey, Miss. One more thing. Can my mom pick up the paint?
Yeah, when is she thinking?
Well, I mean, she gets out at what's today? Thursday.
Mhm.
Yeah, she gets out at 2, and by the time she gets over here, it's probably gonna be like. By the time she gets at school, probably be like 2:15, 2:20.
Yeah, can you give me her number?
Yeah. Hold on. It's is 323
Mhm.
215 8961.
Okay, I'm gonna work on like letting the school know. Does she want to do today or tomorrow?
Well, today she gets out at 2. Tomorrow she works afternoon, so it has to be the day probably.
Okay, has to be today.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna work on this after 7th period, letting them know, like, and trying to like put your paint in a bag so it's ready.
So do I let her know like to show up and just go there and just like tell them my name or?
Yeah, let me text Miss A. Hey, can a mom come at 2:30 to get paint? Angel Valencia's mom.
Yeah.
Let's see what she says. Let me see if she replies. meantime, I'm going to set up the other class in your pod. I just text her. We'll see if she'll text back. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, she's not replying. She might be in a meeting. But can you send me an email with that question and I'll respond after 7th period?
Yeah, I'll email you.
Yeah.
When do I email you?
Like you can email me right now and then I'll respond later.
Okay then.
Okay?
Yeah, I'll ask you then. All right, miss. That's
All
it.
right. Take care, Angel. Thanks for trying so hard. I love it.
All right, miss. Thank you. See you next time.
See you next time.